Hello, welcome back to the breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out from Russia, and I've got some information directly out of the Kremlin today that they are warning NATO once again on a decision that has been made to allow Ukraine to strike targets inside of Russian territory using Western made weapons. So take a look at your screen here. Russia warns NATO on decision to lift restrictions on Ukraine's use of weapons. The Kremlin said Monday that any Western decision to lift range limits on arms delivered to Ukraine would be dangerous and would contradict its aspirations for a political settlement. So they're probably once again warning NATO not to allow Ukraine to strike targets inside their territory with Western made missiles. Again, we've heard this in the past before. Vladimir Putin has even warned that this would draw NATO into the conflict. And on top of that, they're warning that it would potentially sabotage any negotiations between Ukraine and Russia in regards to reaching a peace settlement. So, this was actually the report that was coming out today that I want to show you guys from Max 25. Great Britain, France, Germany, and the United States have lifted restrictions on a number of military supplies to Ukraine, Merz said. So, that is Friedrich Merz, the German chancellor. And it says now it is permitted to carry out long range strikes with Western weapons on Russian territory. Okay, so this all comes at the same time that we've been hearing that Germany might supply Taurus missiles to Ukraine. These are cruise missiles that could definitely be very advantageous for the Ukrainian military. And we also know that Germany recently started to classify a lot of their military shipments to Ukraine. So they could already have them right now for all we know. And then at the same time, now we're hearing from Friedrich Merz that restrictions from all these nations, okay, so from Great Britain, France, Germany, and the United States, any weapons that are given to Ukraine, they could fire these into Russia. So that's what the Kremlin is warning about today. So I want to show you guys the statements coming out from Russia. We even have a statement from Vladimir Putin today. Him talking about a separate subject, but it's a pretty crazy statement that I want to show you guys. So we'll just talk about a few things coming out from Russia. Let's start off here with Anton Gerashenko. Europe's decision is there. If there is one, to lift the missile range restrictions on weapons supplied to Ukraine is dangerous and is contrary to aspirations of reaching a settlement, Peskov said. The decisions, if indeed there are such decisions, are absolutely contrary to our aspirations to reach a political settlement and to the efforts that are now being made within the framework of the settlement. These are quite dangerous decisions, he said. Okay, so 30 seconds, guys. Take a look at this.
Знают ограничения по дальности ракет ударов для Киева. Насколько это опасно для них?
Это потенциально решение, если таковые решения действительно имели место. Они абсолютно идут вразрез с нашими устремлениями на выход политического урегулирования и на те усилия, которые сейчас делаются в рамках урегулирования. То есть достаточно опасное решение, если, опять же, если они были.
Знают ограничения.
Okay, so we can see here directly from Dmitry Peskov warning that this is a dangerous situation, that the West is allowing Ukraine to again fire Western made missiles into Russian territory, and at the same time, him warning that this could possibly sabotage negotiations with Ukraine. As we know, somewhat, at least a little bit, Russia and Ukraine are negotiating right now. I actually have some information on that today, or a little update in regards to these talks. As we know, Russia and Ukraine are still somewhat negotiating to try to reach some sort of peace settlement, but we know most likely that won't be coming anytime soon. But here's a report from Liskovka. The next round of talks between Ukraine and Russia may take place in a delegation format similar to the one in Turkey. This was stated by Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha in an interview with Liberation. We expect their vision of the ceasefire, and will provide them with ours. This will be one of the key topics for discussion at the next meeting, Sybiha added. Okay, so according to the foreign minister out of Ukraine, Andriy Sybiha, he's stating that there will be a next meeting here coming up soon. I'm not sure if it'll be in Turkey or where it's going to be at, but we know for sure it's not going to be at the Vatican because the Russians came out today completely rejecting any calls for going to the Vatican to continue these negotiations. They don't want to do that. So it might continue in Turkey. We'll have to see. But that's an update on negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. So now I want to show you guys this clip coming out from Russia today. This is Vladimir Putin speaking during a conference at the Kremlin. And it says here, from Anton Gerashenko, the West, simply forced us to do what we are doing now, waging war, and they are trying to make us to blame for this, according to Putin. Of course, he's not crazy. He only lies and kills because he can, and he'll keep doing it until he's stopped. Okay, so Putin's going to come out in this video and basically claim there was a coup d'etat in place during the 2014 elections when Yanukovych fled the country. And he's also going to be stating that the Donbass was repeatedly attacked by Ukrainian helicopters. That's also why they had to move in to Ukraine and invade them. So allegedly just coming out and trying to make up a reason for why they had to invade Ukraine. Take a look at this.
Сейчас не буду здесь заниматься вопросами политического характера, но не мы же организовали госпереворот на Украине, понимаете? То есть все время нам говорили, что надо демократия, выборы. Госпереворот совершили, и все как будто так и надо, кровавый причем. И пошли дальше подавлять там Донбасс и так далее. Людей там уничтожать с вертолетов и самолетов. Просто нелепо. Вынудили нас просто делать то, что мы сейчас делаем. И пытаются сделать нас виноватыми в этом. Сейчас не буду здесь заниматься.
Okay, so let me know if you guys agree with that. If you agree that there was a coup d'etat in Ukraine in 2014 after Yanukovych left the country and we had a new incoming president into Ukraine. And then at the same time, he's claiming here that the Ukrainians were repeatedly attacking the Donbass with helicopters and planes. You can see him talking about that here. And that's also why they had to move into Ukraine. So it looks to me like Putin was trying to figure out a reason, to blame the West, that it was the West's fault for him going into Ukraine and not necessarily his own decision. So let me know what you guys think on that. That was a huge statement coming out today from Putin. Now from next, Putin calls to strangle Western services in Russia. The Kremlin boss called Russia's attachment to Western platforms a bad habit that must be eliminated. Fittingly, he made the statement into a German Bosch microphone. As usual, the Russian dictator claimed that Russia was literally forced to start the war, but is being painted as the aggressor, a speech straight from Goebbels' playbook. Okay, so Goebbels was a Nazi parliament member back during World War II. So in Germany, that is. So I'm going to show you guys this clip real quick. It's about 49 seconds, guys. Take a look at this.
Российский пользователь, так называемый B2C сегмент, у них есть пользовательские привычки.
Да.
И действительно...
Давайте всех, кто от этих вредных привычек не может пока избавиться.
Российская отрасль, по прогнозам нескольких аналитиков, теряет миллиарды за счет работы этих сервисов до сих пор в России. Просто...
Надо их душить. Согласен полностью. Говорю без всякого стеснения, потому что они нас пытаются душить, надо отвечать им взаимностью. Вот и все. Мы никого не выгоняли, никому не мешали. Мы предоставляли максимально благоприятные условия для работы у нас, на нашем рынке, а они пытаются нас душить. Вот коллега же говорил. И нужно отвечать им взаимностью, зеркально действовать.
Российский пользователь...
Okay, so we can see here that Vladimir Putin appears to be very upset. You can see he's very irate, and the look on his face as well, that he's bothered by this conversation. But he's coming out and stating that, the West is trying to strangle Russia. They're doing everything to put, heavy pressure on their oil industry and put sanctions onto Russia and whatnot. And he's saying that they need to reciprocate and do the same thing back. I'm not sure what Russia can really do to retaliate in this situation. I mean, they're already in a pretty deep doo-doo, if you ask me. But yeah, it was interesting because he's talking into a German microphone here while he's saying that. So kind of ironic for him to be mentioning that, or hypocritical. But yeah, I mean, just wanted to show you some of the statements coming out here from this conference today that Putin was holding. And, nonetheless, just coming out and stating that, it wasn't their fault for having to invade into Ukraine, that this was the West's fault. So it looks like we're going to be seeing more narratives like this coming out from Russia in the future. And I think things are going to continue to spiral downhill and get crazy over here. So just wanted to share some of this information. Let me know what you guys think about all these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.